What's up, guys? Welcome to the Real Estate Investing School YouTube channel. This is the first official video. Little hint, we have a lot of these already recorded and we're stoked to share them with you, but figured I'd record this video saying, hey, we're coming to YouTube, and I don't even know how it works, but we're gonna figure it out. And we have a lot of good content that we're excited to share. So however it works, like, subscribe this video. We have so many more coming out. I wanted to really dive into this video, just letting you guys know what to expect if you do watch these videos consistently and if you do subscribe, and kind of what's to come and the purpose of creating this channel, because it takes time, it takes energy and effort to put content out there, to spend time recording this, to pay to get it edited so it looks like pretty and not too crazy. Make sure the sound quality is good so you can actually hear it and understand it. So with all that being said, there's a lot that goes into it, but I promise you I wouldn't do it and spend my time doing it if it wasn't something that I felt like was going to be valuable and change lives. In this video today specifically, I just wanted to outline why we started the YouTube channel, and of course I wanted to give you guys kind of some expectations, what to expect out of this. And of course, like, we couldn't film this without actually giving you some like really knowledgeable, something you can take and go and apply and learn. And so I'm going to share with you how I'm buying my beach house in Maui. I close on it either today or tomorrow. I just got a call from the lender, so maybe we're closing today, maybe it's tomorrow, but I'm doing that where it's costing me $0, and I'll have a beach house that's right by the beach in Maui, Hawaii. So I'm going to tell you how I did that, how you can replicate that, but most of all, thanks for being here. And like I said, please subscribe, like it, whatever you do. There's going to be a lot of valuable content to come. So let's dive into it. First things first, what is Real Estate Investing School? Now, I'm not going to dive too much into it in this video, but ultimately it's a program and a school that I created. It's all digital. I'm the CEO of the company, where our focus is to help people become financially free and build passive income through real estate investing so they can go actively live their dream life. Let's be honest, like, all of us, we spend majority of our time probably sleeping and then probably working. And then what's left over is what we go and do with our kids and our family, and it's like the legacy that we leave behind. My mission is to help basically take that time at the end and make it bigger. If we can help you become financially free and be able to do that using a little bit of your own money and just a lot of knowledge and executing on that knowledge to where you're not stuck waiting to make millions of dollars before you can actually take that and invest it to make some passive income. We teach the strategies how to use low and no money down to really go out and change your life and invest in real estate so that it pays you passively. That way, when you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like going to work, guess what? You don't have to, because you made those smart decisions early on and you learned how to invest in real estate. So what we do is we have a coaching program where we teach you all of that. We have all the information, but the information, it's not enough. It's not good enough. Information's everywhere. Like, this is information. You're gathering information right now. It's not going to do you any good until you act upon that information. And so we know, like, at Real Estate Investing School, that that's not an easy thing to do, and we all have good intentions, but at the end of the day, those good intentions, they're not going to get us to where we want to be. So we have to act on those, and we need some help to act upon those intentions. And so inside of Real Estate Investing School, not only do we give you the education, but we also offer one-on-one coaching. So when you enroll, if you're accepted in the program, we assign you a one-on-one coach that you meet with consistently, who gets to know you and where you're at and where you want to go, and helps you create a plan and then execute that plan and hold you accountable to make sure you're moving the needle forward to become financially free. The cool thing is it takes all this information that's out there. It's everywhere, right? There's too much of it. It all works. It just doesn't always work for you. And so working with a coach inside Real Estate Investing School, they're able to personalize all of the information. That way you know what applies to you, what doesn't apply to you, what to focus on and what not to focus on. So the coolest part about it is, like, we insert you with a community. That way you're held accountable by your community. We put you in a pod, you're held accountable by your pod. And so ultimately, like, we want to focus on getting results and not just focus on having a conversation about real estate. So the cool thing is, it doesn't matter if you're just getting started in real estate or if you have, a dozen plus properties. We help you take wherever you're at and scale that to the best of your ability. Like I said, the purpose of this video, it's not to like dive dive into ins and outs of real estate investing school. But if you are interested in that, or that's something that catches your eye, or you just want to learn a little bit more, you feel like you could use some accountability and really a shortcut or a fast track to success, not that you're cutting out any of the work, you're just cutting out doing the right work. And so if that's something that appeals to you, you can click on the link below and you can book a free call. We'll do a strategy session with you and just really dive into it for 20 minutes on what we feel like is the next step for you. You can see if it's a good fit to be enrolled in real estate investing school or not. Now, back to this video. Really what I focus on inside my own real estate investing is how do I go build the most amount of passive income, but how do I do that using the resources that I currently have? What you'll see is like throughout all these videos we release, and we'll do at least one a week, but as we're putting out this content, some of it's gonna be from me coaching and teaching different things and different principles. Some of it's gonna be from our students who have had success, who have applied some of these things that started out maybe with the wrong mindset or thinking they couldn't do it or they couldn't escape the 9-to-5. We wanna just share all of that, even insights from our coaches inside real estate investing school. That way, like, you get as much information and then motivation to act upon that information as possible. Because a lot of times all it is, it's just a lack of knowledge and a lack of execution on that knowledge. The cool thing is, it's not a lack of money or resources that usually keeps people from being successful. It's really not. We think it is. We think we need all this money. We think we need all of these resources, or it's like, hey, one day when I'm here, that's when I'll be successful. And reality is, like, that's not the way that it works. Those who are successful, and you guys have heard all the stories time and time and time again, they're not always the ones, they're not usually at all the ones where they had the trust fund or their parents gave them all the answers or they handed it all to them, right? It's usually those people that are self-made and they had the grit and determination minus the resources, but they had the resourcefulness to go get it done and make it happen. So we're gonna help you out by launching these videos and throwing stuff out there, tips, tricks, things that you can go and apply that don't require a lot of resources, as long as you can be resourceful and grit your teeth and go out and apply those things. I think that one of like the saddest stories that most of the people in the world fall for is feeling like they're inadequate or they're not capable of accomplishing things. Next to that is they can't accomplish them for X amount of years. We have this limited mindset of thinking like, I have to go to school and then I have to graduate college, and then once I graduate college, like then I have to, get a job and make some money, and then once I have some money set aside, I can start investing into my future. And what happens is it's not a good path to take, because it takes so long. By the time we reach this retirement age, we realize like, oh, that money that I had to kind of invest, and if I invested it in, your typical investments, the stock market, whatever it may be, it's not paying me fast enough to get ahead of that rat race. And so I'm here to tell you that you can do this, and you can do this extremely quick. I'm currently 29 years old. When I was 25 years old, I became financially free. Now, I don't say that to brag. I only say that it is possible for you to do that at a very young age. And if you're not young right now, then that's fine. You can do it in a short amount of time. I was able to do that in a couple of years. And obviously, as a young 20-year-old, I didn't have a lot of resources, right? I had to learn and apply these principles that we're going to teach you in these videos. I'm extremely passionate about creating this vision for your life, getting clear on what it is that you want, and then going and executing on it until you go and build that. And you guys will notice that throughout these videos as you're watching, like, I'm huge on getting clear on your goals, writing those goals down again and again and again and again every single day, so that you know what you want. Because as soon as you know what you want, even if you feel like it's out of reach, you can start slowly taking steps to go and get it. And the more clear those goals become in your mind, the easier it is to go and accomplish those things, and the easier it is for you to recognize these opportunities that come into your life. And you recognize them because you know what you want, and you've wrote that down so many times that all of a sudden this same opportunity that's been there, it's always been there, you recognize it because you're clear and you know what you want. We can all go live like our dream life, and we don't have to wait years and years and years to be able to go and do that. It all starts, 1, with getting clear on it, 2, writing it down, and then 3, going out and building it. And we give you the strategies to go and build that. And then 4, going out and living the dream life that you envisioned, right? We want to go and create that and then also build it, but then also live it. And the best part about that is you're way closer than what you think. You're way closer than what you think. I promise you that. Before I let you go, I want to tell you about this deal that I'm doing in Hawaii right now. Like I said, I close any day on it. And what probably caught your eye is I'm buying a beach house in Maui, and I'm going to be able to do this with essentially none of my own money, okay? And to top it off, this gets even better. As I have that property, it's not going to cost me money to have it. Every single month, the mortgage and the payment is going to be covered. On top of that, I can go and use this property whenever I want to. Now, let me break all that down and explain to you how I'm doing that, why I'm doing that. And believe it or not, the first thing starts with like, I wanted a beach house in Maui. Something I've wrote down in my journal for the longest time is I want to own a cabin in the mountains and I want to own a beach house by the beach. And I wanted this really bad. So all of a sudden I start recognizing these opportunities. A couple of months ago, my family and I, one of the other things I wrote down consistently was I want to go 1 month out of the year to go visit like a new country or a different place and just stay there for an entire month, not like a week, but like a full month where I get to really immerse myself and my family in the culture. And we did that. We went to St. Thomas and we got this awesome beach house, stayed there for a month and loved it. Like I was way more present as a father, as a husband. I just got more joy out of life. Maybe that's something to do with the beach and the water and the sunshine. I don't know. But after we came back from that trip, we're like, man, we need to like start looking for a place like this so we can go and do that more often. And that led to Maui. So we flew out there and tried to find a house, ultimately spent 10 days out there. Couldn't really find anything. The market's super competitive, just like it is everywhere, right? We go to put an offer on something, but they've already accepted an offer, and that happened multiple times. So it was time to come home. We flew home. The day we got home, this property popped up on the market. And what's interesting about it and what caught my eye, and you need to write this down because this is really good, is there was only one picture on the listing. Okay, it was on the MLS, there was only one picture and it wasn't a great picture at all. If you can remember this, that if it's something that everyone is attracted to, then guess what? That drives up the price, right? If it's something that not as many people are attracted to, then you can probably get it for a good price. And so because of the pictures, even though this house itself, it might have been something, had they done a good job taking pictures, not might have been, it absolutely would have been something that, would have went for over asking the same day that it was listed. But because they didn't do that, I was able to take advantage of that. So that's just a little tip, with something to look for. The other thing that kind of caught my eye was in the description, it said there was 3 kitchens. So already, like me as an investor, I'm thinking like, oh, there's 3 kitchens. That's a lot of opportunity to rent it out to a few different families maybe and to make more money. And so that stood out to me. Just remember that looking through the description, sometimes I'll see a picture of a house. Maybe there's 50 pictures, right? I just see the main one that's posted with it. I'll actually go and read the description first before I even look at the pictures. And I get really excited just to see what they say in the description. If there's any little hints, hey, this property is zoned a certain way to be able to add more units, or this has a mother-in-law suite in the basement, whatever it is that I can maximize the investment. I want to know those things. So long story short, we get this property, we put it under contract, and the list price was $1.2 million. We put an offer in and ultimately we settled on 1.16, okay? So $40,000 under the list price. Well, as we got under contract, a week went by and we said, hey, I wonder if they're willing to seller finance. Another thing you can kind of put in your notes. Now, what's cool about seller financing, we have other videos on it, you can dive into those, but without getting too much into it, it's great because you can kind of set your own terms. You don't have to involve a bank. And so when we submitted like, hey, would you guys consider this? We gave them 3 options. And we said, hey, one option is we'll pay you a little bit more money. We'll give you the $1.2 million, but we want you to seller finance it. The other option, I can't remember, it was like, hey, will you seller finance a portion of it? Or maybe it was the down payment or something like that, and we'll get a loan on the rest. And then the last option was $1 million cash. So it was 160 grand less, which we already felt like we were getting a good deal. We didn't think they were gonna take that option, but they came back and said, you know what, we'll take number 3. And so I'm like, all right, number 3 it is, right? Now you might be thinking like, oh, well, only Brody can do that, or only so-and-so can do that because they have a lot of money and they can go pay cash, right? Well, here's what's cool is you can go get a hard money loan. That's a loan to go and close on the property. Someone will give you cash and you pay them for that cash. So I went and landed this hard money loan option. And what happens is they send an appraiser out to appraise the property to make sure it's kind of worth in a ballpark what you're asking money for. And part of the process, they ask you, hey, how much are you gonna spend on rehab? What's the scope of work? What type of rehab are you gonna do? And then ultimately, what are you gonna sell it for? Or what do you think it's gonna be worth when you're done? And this is a great strategy because you think about it, like you can borrow somebody's money, buy the property, fix it up, right? By the way, they're loaning me 100% of the rehab costs, which is 150 grand. They loan all that to me, okay? It's part of the loan. And then what happens is if it appraises for more, you have all this equity inside, right? So once you're finished fixing it up, we call it sweat equity. You pretty much created money that you get to now leverage. If you sell the house, then that's the money that you make, right? This is the same concept as like flipping a home, what flippers do, right? And that's how they make their money. But instead of flipping it, we're gonna take that equity, and that's now the down payment on the loan for the house. So we buy this house without any money, right? Because we created that money inside the deal. We created that equity. Now let me show you what I mean by that. So the appraiser came out and I was thinking like, I don't know, I told her 1.4 is what we're expecting. And I thought I was on the high side. And she got out there and she's like, you think this is worth 1.4? And my wife and I look at each other, we're like, oh no. She's like, I think it's worth way more. So long story, it ends up appraising for 1.55. Now keep in mind, we're getting it for $1 million. We're gonna pay, let's just say we pay, you know, $10,000 to borrow that money. I mean, a lot of this depends on how long it's going to take to pay back the money, basically how long the rehab will take to go and then refinance it and pay off the original hard money loan. So we get this for $1 million, we put 150 grand into it, right? Fixing it up, and then we pay for that money that we borrowed. Let's say it's $10,000 or even $20,000, okay? So we're all in on this house, we'll call it 1.18, and then the appraisal comes back at 1.55. So obviously that's a lot of money, right? Looking at it that way, that's $370,000 of equity that's created in this house. So now when we refinance it, that $370,000 is the down payment on the new loan. Really cool. Hopefully I'm not like talking too much or talking over your head if you're just barely getting started or new to this stuff. Now, what's really cool about this is, remember, there's 3 kitchens. 2 of those can be rentals. And the price that those 2 will rent for covers the 3rd unit on the property. And this 3rd unit is the biggest unit. It's 3-bed, 2-bath, and we're going to keep that vacant for my family and I. So what's cool is we just created this beach house. There's 2 people that are gonna be living there, renting it out, that cover 100% of the mortgage. We have this property that's open for us, right? Which is the main house that we can come and go to whenever we want to. We can send our friends or our families, kind of create different experiences, which I'm huge on investing for experiences and investing for lifestyle. I love it, love it, love it. With all that being said, we were able to get this property because we had that equity that was going to be built into it. Hopefully, like zooming back out, that's not like too like nitty gritty. If you guys have questions, put them below. Ultimately, what I wanted to get across with this deal is, yes, the market's high. Yes, it's crazy. Like, yes, I'm experienced and I know what I'm doing. And like, I'm pretty financially stable where if I needed to go pay cash for something, I could if I had to, right? But none of that matters because it doesn't matter if you have a lot of experience. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of money. What matters is if you have the mindset and the grit to be like, hey, I want this and I'm capable of this and I can do this, right? Then if you just learn some of the things and then act on those things, which is once again why I started real estate investing school, you can go and create your dream life, and you can do that way sooner than what you ever thought was possible. So if you have questions on this deal specifically, or you guys want to see some pictures, reach out or go follow on Instagram at Real Estate Investing School, or you can also go to realestateinvestingschool.com. Once again, I'm stoked to do these videos. I'm stoked to dive into YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and let's do this. There's going to be a lot of fire content coming from me, from other coaches, and from other students. So you have a lot to look forward to as you're building your dream life through real estate investing.